Hello, welcome to another video by Moxie Marine. In this video I'm going to show you how to build a harness. It's called a standalone harness. It's basically going to be a harness that's stripped down to the bare minimum, and it's to run a LS engine in a boat. LS engines have a lot of commonalities. Oh, by the way, this is a Gen 4 LS motor, not a Gen 3. A Gen 4 LS motor. And it's going to be stripped down to have just the bare essentials and to run the motor without a lot of emission controls. So if you've been keeping up with this thread, this theme of this video on putting the LS engine in a boat, you know that that's the computer, that's the E38 computer, and I switched to that recently after actually about midway through this project, because I realized the older ECM just wasn't a good fit for the boat. So it took a lot of extra work to do that, to switch over, but I think it's going to be worth it in the long run. I had to do a lot of research to learn how to use this ECM because it's much newer. It handles from 2008 up to about 2013 on just about every car and truck GM made. And so it's very popular ECM. It's a very nice footprint, so I'm going to use it. So again, this video is about building a standalone harness, and I'm not really cheating, but so what's going on is I've already kind of got a harness already laid out. And that's when I was going to use the older ECM before I get switched to this one. And so I've kind of got the distances and other sensors and everything laid out, at least on the Gen 3. And so that's kind of a head start on this harness. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, there's a site called www.lt1swap.com. And he's got the wiring, he's got the pinouts for the E38 and for both trucks and Camaros, LS3, Corvettes, whatever. And so I'm going to show you how to strip down. So I'm going to show you how to strip down the connectors and get the wires out that you don't need and leave just the wires that you do need. And then I'm going to show you how to build the harness. So that's what I was doing now. You can see how I've kind of stripped the back side of the connector off to get to the pins. So once I figure out what pins I don't need, I'll push them in, push the wire from that side, push it through, pull the pin out this way, and then I'll lay it out on the table. Sometimes you might have to put a pin back in. There might be a missing wire, and I know, for example, one wire I'm going to have to put back in, and I'll tell you that when I get to it. But so what I'm going to do is go through the, I'm going to go on the lt1swap.com website, and I'm going to show you what he shows there, and then I'm going to show you what I'm doing to pull out pins. All right, I thought it would be easier if I showed you this on a laptop instead of another phone, just so you can see it better. So this is a www.lt1swap.com, and if you click right here, it says, a little closer there, it says wire harness info. So I'm gonna go there, and then he's got some more information. This computer's kind of slow. Did it take, where did it go? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so down here it says Vortec 2007 and 2013 Vortec right there. So you click there, and then you scroll around and you look for the right here, the connector pinout, 2008 specific connector pinouts. Sorry about the video camera quality here. Click on that, and then it shows you the connectors and the pins and the pinouts and so forth. So he's got a legend here, a color legend. The teal colors are those are wires that you that are needed. It says they go to external connection for standalone. You need those wires, but they don't go to a sensor. They go to something like, say, 12-volt power, switch power, tachometer, things like that. Then the yellow are wires you can take out. Those are things that you don't need because they're emission controls related, or they're just like air conditioner compressor, things like that. So the yellows you can take out. The teal you need to leave in. And if they're not color coded at all, they need to stay in, but they go from the computer direct to a sensor or plug. All right, so we scroll down, and again, so this is the what's called the X1 connector. It's black. That's this connector right here that I'm working on. So I've already started working on this one here. This is the black one. And then there's a gray one. Let me see if I can get the gray one out of this computer here. May not be able to do that with one hand. I'll have to show you that later. but the gray one is a X2, connector X2. So as you can see, it shows X1 and it's got these the pins, and I'm going down through and I'm taking out what I don't need. All these yellows I'm taking out, these teals I'm keeping, and these others I'm keeping. So this is truck. This is a truck pinout. The car, the L99 Camaro, and I'm assuming Corvette, do not have these two pins here, numbers 2 and 3 there. So I'm taking those out because I'm not going to need a four-wheel drive low signal or an axle switch signal. That's for a four-wheel drive truck. So if it turns out that I have to have them, I'll switch to a Camaro or Corvette calibration instead of the truck calibration that I'm planning to use. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and continue to get this harness ready, and then I'll show you what I end up with. So what I'm doing is, like I say, this is the list, and I'm pulling out pins I don't need. And to do that, you have to take off what's called the TPA, which is a thing on this side. Let me see if I can find another one. I don't think I got another one to show you. Let me stop the video and I'll come back when I got this other plug loose. Okay, so as I was saying, this is called the gray connector. You can see it's got that gray device. That's called the TPA. And to get the TPA off, you take a flat blade screwdriver and you stick it right down through here and push, and it releases a little snap on this end. And you push it down in that little slot there and release the snap on this end, and then this whole gray piece kind of pulls out, straight out at you. Pulls out this way towards you, and that leaves these pins exposed. And then to get the pins out, you just kind of push the wire from the back side, actually from the top side, and work them out with your fingernail, and just pull the wires and the pins out this way, in this direction, to get them out. And so you can see, I've started on the X1 connector, and those are all the pins I've removed so far. And then I'm going to continue to do that and get that one done. And then I'll do the gray one. So what I'll do is I'll just show you a handwritten list of the ones I left in, the ones I kept when I'm done, and that way you'll know what to take out yourself. I just thought I'd show you one wire being pulled out. So this is the last wire I left off before I started this video, or this segment. And the next one was 47, which was ignition voltage 1. You need that, so that stays. That's 47, and it was a pink with black. And that would be this wire right here that I left in, this harness. So this is the pink with black, and that's on 47. The next one over is 48. It says, add pin here for tact signal output. I will be adding a pin there. There's not one there now, as you can see. After the pink, there's a blank, and then next is a tan where my finger's on now. The tan is the 49 tan H2O. That's your oxygen sensor, heated oxygen sensor, low signal, bank 2, sensor 2. Anytime you see sensor 2, you can remove it. That is your post-catalytic converter oxygen sensors. You don't need those in a boat. Most cars don't need them. Most hot rods, aftermarket situations don't need post-cat O2 sensors. If you want to be emissions legal, you need them, but if you're grandfathered in the classic car era, you don't need the sensor 2. So in a boat, especially, I'm taking them out for the boat. And then you got 50 and 51. I just want to show you here. So I've got the tan wire partially removed. You can see I've kind of got it started coming out. I'm pushing it out I'm pushing on this side and pulling it out from this side. So you can see I've kind of got it started. And I'm going to go ahead and pull it out and then finish up this side of the harness, or finish up this black connector. Okay, I just pulled out number 52. Starter enable relay control is yellow. So he says this particular guy, by the way, this guy's name is Brandon. I'm trying to remember his last name, but I don't remember. But his first name is Brandon, if you ever email him. But 52 is that number, and then 53. So I just pulled out 52, and it was at the end of the line. It was at right there at that empty spot right there, next to that blue plug there. So if I go over here to go back and look at this, you'll see that 52 is the end of the line, and 53 starts back over here, down here at the beginning. So 53 would be, on this one, would be that white wire right there, and there's another white with black stripe 2 spots over. And so if I go to 53 in the list, and down here 53 starts over, 53, 54, and 55 are not used. So there are wires populated in this connector because I probably pull this off something like a Malibu or, so a lot of what I do is if I go through a pull apart junkyard, a lot of times the cars will be partially stripped, the ECM will be missing, the ECM will be gone, but they leave these plugs in the car. So I just cut them off with some strong clips. Trying to see where I did with them. I usually take these clippers like this and cut the harnesses apart, cut them out, and take the harness plugs with me. And that's probably what I did with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling this row, starting from 53 on up, and pulling wires out I don't need. So like I said, 53, 54, 55 are not used. Okay, here's a wire that he says to keep in, but you don't need for a boat. That's pin number 58, dark green, low speed cooling fan relay control. If you're having a car with an electric fan, you're going to keep this wire, but 58 I'm pulling out because you don't need cooling fans on a boat. So 58 is this wire right here, my finger's on, this green one right here. I'm pulling it out and continuing to work this connector. Okay, I've now completed removing all the wires I don't need out of the X1 connector, and you can see there's not that many pins left. So the X1 connector is mostly empty. The X2 will not be. I can guarantee you there'll be a lot more wires on the X2, so it'll make it easier because you don't have to remove as many wires. So that was X1, and I wrote down what I kept. It says black connector 1 through 72. And we'll go slow. You can read the pins that I left in the connector. So 1 is park neutral signal. I'll tell you what that's for much later. I kept that one. 9 is brake switch. Even on a non-four-wheel drive car, you need a brake switch to tell the computer when the brakes are on. So I believe it's 12 volts when the brakes are off, and then when the brakes are on, the 12 volts drops away. But I can figure that out later. So then you got 19 ignition key hot, 20 battery hot. When I say ignition, that's just when you turn the ignition key, it turns the computer on. It's not hot when the ignition key is off, and when it's not in the run position. You got battery hot, means it's hot all the time when the battery's connected. Accelerator pedal position A, pin A. 27 and 28 is CAN bus, and the 27 is the minus and 28 is the plus. Both of them are 10 black wires, and they're twisted together. Then you got APPE, APPF, APPB, APPC, and remember I wrote the terminal numbers out to the left of it. You got IAT signal, that's the intake air temperature signal. It says MAF pin D, 10 black, but on this particular build, I'm gonna include a MAF connector, which may or may not be connected to a MAF sensor, but I'm gonna pull the intake air temperature sensor wires. I'm not going to put them in the MAF connector. I'm going to put them as a separate connector to a MAF, to an intake air temperature sensor that's mounted remote from the MAF sensor. What I'm getting at is the MAF sensor normally has the intake air temperature sensor built into it. I'm going to separate that sensor out because I may not use a MAF and I want to keep the IAT sensor. And I'll show you that at a later time. So like I say, you got IAT, 37 is IAT signal, 38 is IAT low reference, 41 is MAF A signal, 47 is key hot plus 12 volts. You got two of them, like I say 20 was the other one, 19 was the other one, and then 47 is another one. So I'm going to parallel wires those. And you got 48 TAC. I have not put that wire in. I'm fixing to do that now. 50 is fuel pump relay control. You need that. 56 is APPD. And 68 is the malfunction indicator light. That's the light that turns on your dash telling you got a code or something. I'm going to wire it to sound the alarm horn on the Mercruiser boat through the alarm buzzer. All right, that's all the pins on the black connector that I kept. And I've added one for the TAC. And that completes the X1 connector. So I think I'm gonna do a part 2 video for X2, the second connector, the gray connector, because it's gonna take, it'll take longer to get that one done. There's more wires and more pins. So I'll do a separate video for that. Thanks for watching, and hope you subscribe to my channel and you find my videos helpful. And hit that like button, please.